Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. We just took Dark Wolfgang down his base upgrades. We did that last night with Wolfgang in the Halloween live stream. That's sort of an annual tradition we do. Went over pretty well the first ever time we had done Skylanders research live. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people are leaving comments saying, hey, you should do more of the live research so people can help out with stats, etc. Might do that, but right now we are going to take Dark Wolfgang down the crowd pleaser upgrade path. So if you want to do this, a couple things you need to know. Number one, base upgrades are going to set you back 3,300. The path upgrades, which let's go ahead and select this. So we're going to come down, crowd pleaser is the bottom path. Important that we select that, so let's go ahead and click it. Alright, so we get sick dash combos is their description. We're gonna add a little bit of solid analytics to that. That's the description. Again, if you want to see Soundmeister, took that with standard Wolfgang. You can see that video. But for Dark Wolfgang, I thought the aesthetic, sort of like the death metal, kiss face type of a thing, it just seemed to suit Dark better on the crowd pleaser path. That was my logic. That's literally all there is to it. Again, important to stress this. Legendary tri-tip gains. Attack damage gains over standard tri-tip. Fact of the matter, with Candy Coated Chopscotch and our Dark Edition characters, they do the same damage. They have the same statistics. There's no gains to speak of. So I just went solely based on aesthetics, and that's what I thought would be cool. So that's what we're going to select. But what you're going to need here is 1,700. Well, those are covered up, but 6,900 cumulative. I guess it's 1,722, 3,000, if I remember correctly. And then the Soul Gem, which this is why last night in the Halloween live stream, I went ahead and went into the Undead Sensei realm, or as they call it, the Sensei Undead realm. It was specifically to pick up his Soul Gem, and I'm glad we got it. It's Rock Concert. We're going to check it out to 4,000. So for the Soul Gem and the Path, 10,900. Tack on the base upgrades. You're going to be looking at, what, 14.2? So what we're going to do now, though, is surround sound. Create a musical barrier at the end of a knee slide that keeps enemies away. So this is obviously going to be conducive to someone that prefers to use the knee slide or the dash with Wolfgang. So we'll have to see what it does, if it's going to be the same standard damage that we see with our, Songs of the Underworld and Now in Stereo. Which let's check those and make sure they're still doing what they were. Yeah, 16 to 24 still, so that is good to know. Made quick work of that guy, so let's check this knee slide out. Okay. Oh, and it's a radial one too. That almost doesn't even fit on the stage. So basically, to take you back in time, box stock knee slide, secondary attack, 14 to 21 damage, maximum of 4 times. That's like if we pinned an enemy into a corner and it couldn't go anywhere. Otherwise, you'll get somewhere between 0 and the max of 4 hits on it, right? Base upgrade, final one was power chord. You do the same 14 to 21, 4 times max. But it ends with him sort of rising up and slamming down. It did 43 to 65 with the explosion. It looks like every bit of that is still present. We don't know if the damage numbers have in fact gone up or not yet. But now it's a very wide radius sort of around that undead elemental skull. And the speakers are positioned at 90-degree intervals, if you will, the 360 of the circle, basically horizontal and vertical axis. The catch is, it seems to emanate between 0 and 90 and 90 and 180. We've got essentially that wavelength covered the whole distance. So this could be pretty salty. Let's take a look at it. We'll slide towards Persephone first. Wrong. That would have done what we wanted to do had I been playing on the Nintendo console. Look at that. Look at the radius on this thing. That's pretty impressive. I mean, now, something we're going to try right now. If I slide, and then we've got those 4 speakers, if I do our tertiary attack, Songs of the Underworld, will that make any of those 4 speakers go away, or will they stay? Yeah! Oh, so OP. That's a good look at the speakers too. They look eerily similar to a troll radio, you know, like the dial, if you will. But let's get a count on this. Not damage, but just the duration, the length of time that we have this.
Sweet!
Seven seconds is kind of what I'm counting. Let's do it again.
Yeah!
Yeah, I'm going to go with 7 seconds. Let's try to count the pulses on that.
Smash hit!
Got 6, but we'll see what it does with damage. But I'm going to go ahead and log it as 7 seconds. And the important thing now is to attempt to see what it does. So my goal is to, I guess we will hit this first guy with the knee slide. Oh man. That's what happens, you know, when the controller schematics are not the same across consoles. Still 14 to 21, still 43 to 65. Come at me, please. Oh, what a waste. Come take some damage. Oh, does it not do damage? That, Well, I mean, it's very effective knockback. I don't know if it would do damage if he was inside the ring. Let's find out. He'll spawn inside the ring. No, it pushed him away. So that must have like a cylindrical effect, you know, like air to ground type of a thing. Okay, so he's stuck there. Take advantage of that. Okay, well, I've got to say, I love the concept of it. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, it didn't have to do like, you know, 3,000 damage or something crazy. But to not do any damage? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I would have taken 14 to 21. A logical number would have been 16 to 24. Would have taken an increase on 16 to 24. It's going to be super effective. And, I mean, let's be honest here, though. I don't think anyone will argue it's not a disappointment that that doesn't do some sort of damage, even 5 to 8, you know. I also don't think anyone can argue that it's awesome how it repels the enemies so effectively. But let's be fair here. If you're coming in and you're trying to find the silver lining, see what we did there with Dark Wolfgang? If you're trying to find the silver lining, here's what it would be for me. No damage but knockback, so if I throw speakers there and my enemies are in that quadrant, 16 to 24, and then I go to town doing that. Can we have more than one of these?
Let's roll!
No. So that's another knock on it. You can only have one active. But again, I think you could use it to your advantage. It's just basically a very large shield effect. 7 seconds. Good knockback. No damage, which that's, I don't know. Like I said, even 5 to 8. I mean, something is better than nothing, and right now we've got nothing with that. So hopefully, maybe these next ones expand upon that. We'll have to see.
It's sort of like I'm getting a backstage pass here.
All right. Encore. Strike a chord. That's our primary attack. Shoots multiple arrows while inside a musical barrier. So, the musical barrier, probably not. I mean, if they would have called this, you know, sort of, it looks like that would be doing damage, but it's not. And so now it's basically making it clear we're to stay inside this barrier and shoot arrows. So 2200 gets that for us. Multiple arrows, will they do 32 to 48? I'm thinking they will. I've seen this before in the game. Anytime we get this sort of a pattern going, I think it's going to stick at 32 to 48, but by multiple, do they mean 2? Do they mean 3? I mean, 32 stacks nicely. Is it going to be 64? Is it going to be 96? 128? We don't know. So let's come down here and try to figure this out. First thing first, we got a knee slide. And now, I think it's going to be 2. Wait. 1 second here. If I shoot straight at the speaker, it was 2. If I split the distance Did we get 3? I don't know. This camera angle. I feel like I have 3 there. So what I'm thinking is if we go like straight on 90 degrees with a speaker, I think it's going to Y off 2 arrows. And then I feel like if we go between two 90s at a 45, you know, like 45, 135, etc., I feel like it's going to shoot an arrow directly in front of us, you know, at the 45 angle, and then it's going to do one at 180 and one at 90. I so wish I could take control of the camera. Whoops. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm seeing 3. I'll be able to tell for sure when I edit this, but I think it's 3. So let's get one dummy up here and see. So no damage there, but... And they are the 32 to 48, correctly predicted that. So, Encore, we're going to do still. That indicates one of Wiisdom is not as pleased as he could be. Almost every time I use still. Still 32 to 48. Shoots 2 to 3x arrows from inside barrier. Alright. If you read the spreadsheet and not the video, and that makes no sense, that's why the videos are here. You can see it, you can call it what you will in your own terms. That's the best I can describe that thing. So, that said, let's see what we've got next.
Quantified by stats. Although these do look pretty good.
Grand finale. Blow up your speakers. Yes. Yes, this is what we want. This is the damage and the carnage that I desire. So blow up your speakers by exiting the musical barrier with a knee slide. Before we buy it, let's showcase again. It's so hard to do anything with distance involved on circle without falling off or just going into a corner and losing effect. And then here, to get a good angle, you have to almost come this far away. But what we're going to do is we're just going to knee slide. We've got our repel ring, right? And then I can just enter and exit it. Nothing happens. If we do it again, and I slide out of it, we just spawn a new one and the other one goes away. And, you know, something I wonder, would that do the supersonic arrows justice? Oh. See what I mean about this? Alright, here we go. Yeah, it'll still shoot supersonic arrows. Now, was that one we shot or one of the spring ones, you know, the second or third arrows? I don't know. You saw it and you make of it what you will, but we got a 114 out of it, so I'm good with that. Let's go ahead now and buy Encore.
I'm getting a backstage pass here to my own.
Or grand finale, I should say. And this should be good. I'm hoping this does significant damage. Otherwise, this bottom path will turn out to be amazing for defending yourself, but not really that much of an offensive path, if that makes sense. So, and this ties in again another reason to use your secondary attack, which the path is kind of built around. So we're going to slide and create this. There's our ring. Nothing's happening. We exit with a knee slide. Okay. You can really only see this top one, but it should be good. It should be good. I wish if I have to pick something to gripe about in this game, I'm ecstatic that we get dummies. I'm ecstatic that there's a switch to bring them down and I can have up to 4 of them. If we were doing like a brawler, like a Terrafin or a Slam Bam or Sir Skellington, this little circular thing works fine. Anyone with a dash or anyone with like radial damage, it does not work well. And if we could have the fixed training dummies like we have down by Flynn and Sharpfin's ship, and then this in like a flatter, more confined area. Not more confined, but like, you know, larger and closed in. Because the other issue is if I fall off like that, the enemies despawn. I can knock the enemies up here and things just get weird. Sometimes I can get like a glitch where they just are constantly like running on the stair. And just a little bit more space and perhaps a better camera angle. People seem to not talk about camera angles much anymore, but like when I was growing up, it was a huge deal. And like generally the grade A standard for how well is your game designed is based off of the, you know, Nintendo IP, which historically has been Mario. Sometimes, you know, you factor in The Legend of Zelda or something. But when they give you the ability to, like, use an analog stick and sort of adjust, which is basically selfie mode here in this game, so you know they've got the concepts. But there's times, like, when I'm going to try to test Grand Finale out right here, if we knee slide over here, and then I knee slide over here, and the camera pans to there, it's kind of hard to see the damage numbers, you know? But a user-controllable camera, even if it was something you had to toggle on and off in a pause menu, that would be awesome for Skylanders, I'm just going to say. And also if this switch was, like, outside of the arena, you know, where I could, like, activate it here, stand inside the arena but activate it, and then this is a problem. I'm just gonna say it. It's convenient, I like that, but it's like you do this, the enemies come at you and they just like aimlessly walk into that and don't have the AI to go around it. So I love the lever, it's hilarious, I'm glad we have it, but if it could like be relocated, that would be amazing. So anyway, here we go. Let's try to see what we can do with this. Slide in.
Sweet!
Oh, please come back. Slide out. 86, and that was standard. Oh, he's not dead yet.
Let's rock!
So it's basically doubling our explosion, which that's okay. I mean, the 43 is hilarious. But now when I exit, what was that? It's just like live wired or something. There was 43. Is he still alive? No? Right. Check this out. We shocked him again. Where's that coming from? We didn't do that the first several times. What? Alright. See what I mean about how difficult it is to see?
Smash hit!
65, but that was our standard explosion. There's the 86.
Smash
So
hit!
I'm going to roll with 86, basically. Half of 86 is going to be 43, 86 and 43, 129. That's what we're going to call it, 86 to 129. How does one shock the dummies? I don't exactly know. We did it again, though. We did it again. So come at me, bro, please. Hurry. Thank you. You just going to stand there? He's just going to stand there. Remember when I said there's kind of like the glitch where the enemies will just run? I guess there's one where they... Oh, hey! You're here.
Yeah!
Anyway, it's a very cool concept. It's just very difficult to showcase in a confined area with the particular camera angle we've been given here. Does it bother you that this screw is not, like, parallel to the ground like this one? That one's almost vertical. That's horizontal, and that one's angled. I hate that. It's like when you look at an outlet, you know, on a light switch. I don't know, I'll probably ruin some of you for life when I say this, but if you ever go in, like, even your bedroom, the kitchen, whatever it may be, teacher asks you to turn the lights on and off, if I go up to that freaking light switch, and especially if it's a flathead, if it's a Phillips, then it's okay, maybe, but it's almost always a flathead. That's just the one line in the screw, if you didn't know, a flat blade screwdriver, essentially. They should be... Whether you go full vertical to match the switch or you go horizontal, parallel with the ground, you know, it's a pet peeve of mine if those are not equilateral. Like, it just bothers me. It's like, this electrician did not care about what they did. That has your name on it, sir, and you screwed it up. Literally, screwed it up. That's kind of that here, you know. This could be, I don't think that's at the same angle at all. Yeah, it's not. Now that's going to bother me every time I'm here too. It's the little things, isn't it? I keep thinking this should be a door. You know, I was so mad. There was that one door we could never go to at the academy. Like, if there's doors, you should be able to go into them eventually, you know? Like, all the coin trails come over here, and yet I haven't been able to go back inside. And that bothers me. There's a lot of things that bother me. But something that doesn't bother me is Wolfgang, because he's amazing. That said, we're done with the path. We're going to showcase the Soul Gem. I think this has a place. I think this would work well for a lot of people. Obviously, if you got the Dark Edition, chances are you also bought Standard Wolfgang. Go ahead and take whichever you think suits it better, you know. Do both paths, have them at your disposal. Personally, I'm going to have to say I prefer Soundmeister. This is unique. We've got to give it to him. I mean, there's no one else that really like summons speaker gravestones from the ground. The biggest thing for me, though, is with surround sound, we didn't get any damage. And realistically, if we're not going to get any damage, it could last a little longer, like 10 seconds or more. We got basically 7 seconds, no damage. Encore, then, I like that concept, you know. But if it would have even taken the arrows up from 32 to 36 or 32 to 40, that would have been awesome, but it didn't. It just increased it, and it's not consistent. If you go straight ahead, it Y's off at 2. If you go through a 45, it's going to give you 3. So that's kind of bittersweet. Grand Finale, it's just hard for me to show it well. You know, I don't really have the space or the enemy arrangements to like, hey, look how cool this is. I'm fine with it. It's pretty cool. It doubled the damage. Surround sound, no damage. Encore, same damage. I realize there's an extra arrow or two, but just that bump from... I'm not asking for the world. I'm not like it should have been 64 an arrow. No. 32 to 36. Just give me a little something to work with, particularly when you're going full defense like that. Grand Finale, I have no knocks on that. It's just hard to showcase. But Encore, I would have liked a little more. And surround sound, I would have loved to have seen some damage again. Even 5 to 8, the classically low number, 5 to 8 would have sufficed for me. That said, let's buy his Soul Gem because it's pretty cool. And I wonder if it will work in tandem with the dashes we've got here.
Although these do look
Alright, so the Soul Gem, which sets you back 4,000, I should say. Press Y during a jump to please a crowd of enemies with stunning music. That will trigger Rock Concert, the Soul Gem. So, basically what's going to happen, I'm going to describe it and then let you see it. You jump, you press Y. He spawns basically now like a stage with like these undead skulls, which is pretty cool. It lasts for 5 to seconds. It's got 8 speakers around the, you know, perimeter of the circle. They're going to do 22 to 33 4 times. And then the 5th hit from the speakers, sort of like, you know, the grand wow, you know, bass hit or whatever, 32 to 48. So, here we go. Jump and Y. So you can kind of count there, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do it for you this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish it with the 5th. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 22 to 33. And then the 5th hit, 32 to 48. Question I've got, and we're just going to check it out right now while we're down here. I want to create surround sound and see if I can then do the Soul Gem. I'm assuming the Soul Gem would just override surround sound. And I guess you would want it to, because if the stage fit in the diameter of surround sound, and surround sound, which does have good knockback, was pushing enemies away, you'd never do damage with your Soul Gem. So let's try to figure this out. There's B. I'm going to center myself, jump Y. Yeah, it just completely overrides it. So I almost feel that the Soul Gem sort of suits the top path Soundmeister a little better. And you got to admit, it does look pretty cool. Let's go up here so you can see it in action. I'm going to jump, press Y. 1, 2, 3, 4. I felt like I counted 5. That's now I got 4 in 1. Let's do it again. Jump Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. I feel like 4 and 1 is the best answer. It could sometimes be 5 hits and then the finale 32-48. But I feel like the vast majority of times I've done this, I've done some when my nephew was here. I did some off camera after that. I feel like 4 hits and then the finale hit is sort of the best way to go. So, that said, again, now here's a question. Well, we can't.
Let there be wrong.
If I press anything up here, nothing happens. So, and that even takes away the speakers too. So yeah, honestly, I don't hate this path. I think it's got a place. I think it'll be efficient. You'll sort of have to alter your play style a little bit. Basically, if you have this path, you always want to be inside this ring, either A, shooting arrows, or B, getting ready to slide out. Basically, I would shoot arrows from inside, and then when your timer goes off in your head, slide out of it, let it explode, rinse and repeat, and do it over and over and over again. If the dash attack suits you, if you think that's cool, if you think the aesthetics of it, whatever, take crowd pleaser. If you're more about the bow, I would probably suggest Soundmeister. Again, personally, for me, Soundmeister is going to turn out to be the better one. I like what it does with our primary attack, the upgrade with Song Stuck in My Head. And I like the fact that it slows enemies down with Lay Some Tracks, even though that's extremely hard to showcase, just like Grand Finale was here. Big thing, though, amp it up when the speakers start shooting the arrows. There's really nothing I can compare it with across the board on crowd pleasers. So, once again, if you were to press me and say, hey, I've got one Wolfgang, what do I do? Which path do I take? If you've watched my videos, if you know my playstyle, if it's similar at all, Soundmeister is going to please me a little bit more. Crowd pleaser, though, does have a place, and I think it would make him kind of somewhat of a, like, defensive juggernaut, if you will. And some people prefer that sort of a play style. Some people would want, like the smasher, they'll just gonna go in and just wail away, and then they need the character that they can just come in and not die with. And I feel like if you spend a little bit of time figuring out, like to count it in your head, like, okay, I can get 4 arrow shots off, slide again, you could kind of make yourself immune here. I mean, you're probably going to take some hits, especially on like Nightmare mode or something. But that path does have a place. And I think if you spend a little time with it, it can be very rewarding. I think Soundmeister, for me, again, is always going to be the preference. But I don't plan to reset Dark Wolfgang. We're going to let him take crowd pleaser. We're going to use it. We're going to enjoy it. And like I said, I honestly believe the strong suit here, even though it's missing damage with surround sound, even though Encore didn't increase our arrow damage, even though the soul gem overrides what we get with the entire path, I feel like he can come in and he can just basically, this is almost like a plus 100 armor sort of a thing. If the enemies can't get to us, they can't hit us. And then if you get that timer down in your head of when your barrier is going to go away, do another knee slide, it blows up, deals significant damage, plus you maintain your initial 4365 explosion, right? So you come in, you've got that, you've got the barrier blowing up around you. It's pushing enemies away. You're shooting 2 or 3 arrows out of the gaps. It's going to be pretty potent in the end. So each one has their place. What I want to know from you is which path do you prefer and why? If you've only got one Wolfgang, which path would you take, in other words? Similarly, if you've got 2 Wolfgangs, or you plan to get 2, or you've got dark and regular, 2 dark, 2 regular, whatever it may be, just out of curiosity, which Wolfgang did you select for which path? Did you do what I did? Wolfgang takes Soundmeister, Dark takes Crowd Pleaser. Let me know your logic on that one as well. Just kind of an interesting discussion to have. If you really enjoy these sorts of conversations, SkylanderClub.com. It is the forum. It's where I've got the poll battles. I created it. I run it. I created it for Portal Masters like yourself. So check it out. If you like what you see there, sign up. We would love to have you join us. Follow me on Twitter. Regardless of if I stream on Twitch or Beam, I will always tweet it. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. It's working again here lately. I've been streaming a couple nights in a row with Skylanders. And Beam, I just really like the UI on that site. I think some of you will too. I know a lot of people have never heard of it or haven't ever gone there or checked it out. it's pretty cool, and I think some of you may like it. I'll probably switch up between the two, honestly, and just see which one viewers tend to like. Again, I get nothing from Twitch. I get nothing from Beam. So ultimately, if whichever one works, number one, and then number two on your end, whichever one y'all prefer, it really doesn't matter to me. So only knock on Beam is they don't have a way that I know of for me to export my videos to YouTube. Twitch excels at that over Beam right now. But again, the UI, I honestly prefer Beam. So I don't know if I'm in a minority there or what. But nonetheless, whatever I do, I will try to get it up on YouTube. And that's, of course, why you should subscribe here. Like the videos. If you really want to help me out, share the channel with your friends. Encourage them to subscribe. If you got buddies in the Skylanders, you're trying to get your siblings or some friends into it, you watch my channel, watch the videos, share it with people. I am not in a third-party partnership. That's basically where people cross-promote over you, and all your stuff gets screwed up in playlists by said cross-promotion, and they funnel subscribers to people. Not me. I'm just the old-school grassroots dude. And everything you see is everything that is. There's not like 16,000 fictitious subscribers or something coming in every, 3 to 4 months. No third-party network, just me. So I'm fighting the system, and by gosh, I intend to keep doing it, just like Wolfgang. So that said, I'm pretty excited about this. It's going to be a challenge to use this path, but I think if you can get, particularly on an easier difficulty, he's just never going to take hits. That's the main thing. And if you get good with it, I think it's going to be pretty solid. So that said, again, let me know what you did. Let me know you prefer Wolfgang or Dark Wolfgang. Got it all up in the poll section on the Skylander Club forum. Personal site, oneofwiisdom.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Google+. I'm going to end this video so I can get to editing and uploading. And I hope I will see you here for our next installment of Skylanders Research.